weather's important. We'll talk about why in a minute, but I'm looking on my phone. Santa Clara, tomorrow, there's a 55% chance of rain. They don't know. Happened, couldn't. And I'm looking on the iPhone. I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems like if the rain's going to come down, right now it's going to come down in the evening when the game happens. So don't know, but it's something the Niners have to be prepared for. And I think like this is when maybe Brock Purdy's physical limitations come to the forefront of your mind, because when it's a game like this, a quarterback like him or Tua, you start to think, well, how's the ball going to leave his hand? Well, how's it going to travel through the air? You don't think about that as much with a quarterback like Josh Allen or maybe even Jordan Love, who can really, really drive the ball.
Right.
Brock does everything well. He doesn't really drive the ball like that. Do you think the rain would be like an equalizer or something that would play in the Packers' favor?
No. I think the rain is actually going to play in our favor. I feel like the Packers, they want to take the air out of the football. They want a slowed down pace game. I just believe that we are not only just a better team talent-wise, but schematically they have problems facing us. The Packers don't do well in stopping the run, particularly outside zone. They're pretty bad at it. And they're not as bad as what they're absolutely worse at, which is stopping inside zone. So the Packers defense has got a lot of work on their hands coming in here to face us. And with the weather being in question, I really do look for us to kind of open up the stables, let Christian McCaffrey do his thing, Deebo Samuel get on the edges and get these boys running, and then allow Brock to do what he does best, which is distribute and short to intermediate passes and extend plays. So I honestly, I tried, because I know it's sexy to kind of see why the Packers are going to win this game, but I really do see this falling right into our hands, especially with the weather, right? Because it's going to be, they're going to try to take the out of the ball. What they really want to do for the Packers is they want to keep our defensive line on the field. They want to keep us out there and get us tired, because they feel as though that they have a run game that's going to be able to protect what they really like to do is their play action game with Jordan Love, which is how he turns on immediately. And I just think that the play action game is going to suffer with not being able to get a lot of traction. And we play in natural turf, so we're going to have these boys running. I just don't think weather is going to be a factor in this one. I don't.
Well, we don't know if it's going to rain or not. If it does, it'll be interesting to see what is the footing like. Because if it's slippery on the grass, then it might be tough to run outside zone, because that you need to make that one cut, as opposed to just running between the tackles where you just kind of run forward, depending on what the footing is. So we'll see. And then I gotta feel if it's actually coming down, that affects Brock more than Love, and that it would be an equalizer. That we saw Brock in Cleveland with like a mist. It wasn't even raining that hard. And I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but it was probably his worst game of the year, that or Baltimore. But I mean, he completed 44% of his throws. If you go back and watch, he was just missing. The ball was like slipping out of his hand, it felt like, to the point where I wondered, should you be wearing a glove like Kenny Pickett? Right. So that's one thing I feel like the Niners are definitely better than the Packers. But something like this could make it a different type of game, a messy game, muck it up, which would benefit the inferior team.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand how, you just can't get around the elements of the game and how the boys are going to be able to perform. But I understand that Brock, I think that's kind of Kyle's job to keep Brock out of those situations where he's going to be trying to throw the ball over 25 to 30 times a game. I think that our run game is really going to stand tried and true in this game. And it's going to be more, in a way, I kind of see that this game being back in 2019, an NFC Championship game at home when we beat the Packers and we threw the ball 8 times. I don't think it's going to be that drastic, because I believe we have a much better quarterback in Brock Purdy than Jimmy Garoppolo. But I do see this being a game where the Packers are going to slow it down anyway. And when you slow the game down, weather kind of just doesn't tend to be a factor. Now, I can see if we were playing another finesse team or a team like Detroit, where they like to spread you wide and, making passes and being on time is something that is necessarily going to be at a premium.
Uh-oh. Where'd you
Are
go?
we good?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
El Gato, no signal. It says I can hear you. Yeah.
All right, you can still hear me. Hold on. I'm El Gato went up, baby. Yeah,
El Gato went up, baby.
Yeah, but for me, I just don't think that it's necessarily going to be that big of a factor. I think the weather plays in our hand. I don't know what's going on right now, but we're gonna push through it.
I wasn't expecting you to say that the weather plays in the Niners' hand. I feel like it plays in the Packers' hand, and the Niners should be hoping that it's clear skies, and the Packers should be hoping for any type of chaos they can get. Because I don't think they're anywhere near as good as the Niners, even though they beat the Cowboys by a lot. Like, they don't have enough talent.